Hi everyone, Summer here with AstariaSen, and this move has been insane so far, just absolutely insane. I have been so busy, as I told you guys before. I know I've been posting a lot of tarot deck flip throughs. Honestly, I haven't had a lot of time to make videos. I'm just doing the best I can, and I'm pretty sure this one will also be short. But one of the things I wanted to talk about that never really crossed my mind was moving as a pagan. So I'm not gonna say the experience has been bad so far. I have most of my stuff boxed up. You can see some boxes over here. And we are getting ready to take it all out to the property this week, and I'm getting ready for my big event in Gillette this weekend, and just a lot still going on. But when people come over to help you pack or to help you move, you don't realize the kind of things that you haven't really told people. I know this sounds weird, but I tell people I'm spiritual. And that generally satisfies most people's curiosity. They don't generally go any further than that. But as I'm packing, I'm realizing I have boxes of altar stuff and I have boxes of tarot cards. And people are helping me, box all this stuff up. And I'm glad it was my daughters, because I don't know how other people would have reacted to that. Like, I never thought about, packing all my altar stuff and packing all my tarot cards. It just didn't, I knew I had to, but it didn't cross my mind that it would be a thing. And as I'm like packing all this stuff and I'm writing tarot cards on the outside of the box and altar stuff on the outside of the box, or pagan stuff or whatever, pagan books, all of that stuff I just kind of wrote on the outside of the box, not even thinking about it. I just did it. And people are going to be helping me move. People that in my family and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, crap. Not because I'm worried necessarily about myself, but it makes other people uncomfortable. And maybe that's something that I don't talk a lot about, especially on my channel. I tend to keep it a lot more uplifting. But, there are a lot of things that just I didn't consider that I should have maybe put a little bit more thought into. But it's been so just this rush to get it done, to get it done, to get it done. So then I had to also decide, what tarot deck do I keep out? What pagan books do I keep out that I want to keep reading while I'm moving? Because it's still 2 weeks that I'm still sitting in this house, doing stuff. So what is it I keep out, even though people are going to be moving in and out of my house with painting and packing and cleaning and carpet and helping us move? So, what do you keep out? Where do you keep it? Because there isn't anywhere. There's no shelves. There's no nothing. So what I did was I picked tarot decks that I like working with the most, or that I have liked working with them the most. And honestly, if you're curious which tarot decks I picked, I will tell you in just a moment. But for the meantime, it was more about what I wanted to work with within a 2-week time frame, knowing that all of my stuff is going to be out of the property. I can still get to it, but it's a little more difficult. And I'm working in a tiny house when I go out to the property. I don't have my fairy den set up yet, because all of this happened way sooner than we were expecting. Not in a bad way though, not in a bad way. But so there's an idea that yes, I still have access to these things, but what is it I really need to have with me? And the other thing that I almost spaced was because I do events. So I take specific crystals to my craft fairs with me to help me feel safe and okay emotionally or energy wise, and I put them in my booth. And I don't ever think about it. Like, I don't keep them in my craft fair, box of all of my craft fair stuff. I don't do that. I usually keep them on my altar. I usually keep them with my other stones and stuff like that. And then when it comes to the craft fair, I just grab the ones that I want. And they're not always the same, right? So that's the other thing I had to do, was pick which ones I was going to take ahead of time. And that's really hard for me. It's just like with my crafts. I don't come up with the projects in advance. Not really. I mean, like, I know I want to make unicorns, or I know I want to make dragons, but I don't know if I want to use moss, or if I want to use fake leaves, or if I want to use flowers, or if I want to use paint, or what, until I actually do the project and it comes out, because I just don't think that far in advance for my project. So when I was packing all of my craft stuff, I had to decide what to keep and what not to keep. And I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to use and what I'm not going to use in the next 2 weeks. So I had to limit myself too, which was very difficult. Limiting myself has probably been the most difficult part of packing. What to pack and what not to pack. So I have limited myself to black tourmaline, rose quartz, and amethyst. You know, obviously I love my black tourmaline, and if you've been on my channel and I've talked about my rocks, I love black tourmaline. It's my safety stone, it's my comfort stone, it's my everything kind of stone. So I have that with my craft fair stuff now, those 3 rocks, and just kind of keeping it in a safe space. And then I have jars of, you know, like moon water and sun water, and what do I do with those, right? So I kept out a bottle of sun water so that I could water my little tiny plant that I've had on my altar forever now, over a year now. I'm so proud of myself for keeping it alive. But anyway, so those are the rocks, the crystals that I decided to keep, because I'll carry black tourmaline on me, and I like rose quartz and amethyst. I like the way they feel together, and they make my booth feel nice too. So then I move on to tarot cards and oracle cards, and I have a collection of them. What do I choose, and why do I choose them? Well, I based it off the idea of what I like, what energy I like to work with the most and want to work with for a 2-week period. And I know a lot of people work with one deck for an entire month or something like that, but honestly, it wasn't about learning how to work with a deck. It was about a comfort deck, a deck that I know inside and out, and I can just pull a card and know, or I can give somebody else a reading and just know, and not have to research the deck and not have to work with it for an entire month to get used to it or anything like that. I wanted something that I was already going to know, that it was going to be easy, because all of this moving is hard, right? So I chose Crystal Visions and Shadowscapes, and I kept one new deck, my Forest Creatures deck, that one that I just got. I kept that one out just in case I wanted the option to learn a new deck. And I told you, I have a hard time limiting myself. And then I kept the Gratitude Oracle by Josephine Wall. I kept that one out for my Oracle deck, and I have them in like this little case. And so I've been using that, and I've done tarot readings for people and myself, and it's been amazing, honestly, that it's been so simple to just grab those decks and not have to worry about the other decks. So it's interesting how that has turned out for me. Like, I didn't expect it. And I guess that goes into that tag that went around for a little while, was, you know, if you lost all your decks, which ones would you re-get? And I would have to get the Crystal Visions. As a matter of fact, I have 2 Crystal Vision tarot decks. But Crystal Visions is like my main go-to. Like, I didn't expect it to be that way, and it just happened. It's just one of those decks I connect really well with. It gives me comfort. It's not too harsh. I can read it for other people and myself, and it just works. So that's been really both exciting and limiting, and I guess a lot of things. It's been a lot of things. And this goes into my year. Oh my gosh, my word of the year is build. And you would not think of moving as a building stone, but it is. It's a stone, a foundational stone that I'm learning about myself. I'm building upon this idea of I am a spiritual person, and I don't generally tell people about it, and I'm building towards being able to tell people. And by other people helping me move, including family, they're learning this part about me. They don't say anything. It's not like they're like, oh my gosh, you have an altar, or oh my gosh, you have tarot cards. They're not saying it. They're not talking about it, but it's there. And I don't have to have that confrontation with them, because I am not a confrontational person. really, really dislike it. So uncomfortable with confrontation. It's not even funny. But I learned over the course of last year that confrontation is something we all need in our lives. And so I have worked towards being able to be a little more less passive about things that I want and who I am. So that's been very helpful for me. But as far as tarot cards go and altar stuff goes, I didn't keep a lot of my altar stuff out because I don't have an altar. I have a little tiny little carrying altar that I've been using, and that seems to work. And it's weird because I like burning my sage in the morning, and I like doing sage on Fridays, cleansing the house. And I won't be doing that anymore. And I haven't been doing that for a couple of weeks now. It's been a very strange experience for me, especially since I've worked so hard to build up these routines in my practice. So it's been also difficult breaking them down to the bare necessities of how I see myself spiritually. And tarot apparently is a really big part of my practice because that is one of the things I just had to keep out. And my plant, I couldn't just let it go. I had to keep it with me right now in this room. And it didn't have to be, but I had to keep it with me. And my black tourmaline and my rose quartz and my amethyst are things that just had to stay with me, So it's been interesting to see how limited I have made myself with this move, but also how freeing it's been to see what I can do without and why I chose to do without it. So that's been a very educational experience on who I am and my practice and what I'm doing with it. So yeah, that's where we're at. The idea is to be moved pretty much, like we're literally moving boxes out to the property every day this week. That's the goal. And even though we'll still kind of be staying here in this house, we'll also be out there. So by May, I will literally be in the tiny home consistently. As far as internet goes, I can't get Starlink yet. Everybody's been talking about Starlink, and I live in a rural area. I can't get it yet. The only internet I'm able to get is what comes on my phone. So I can do like a mobile hotspot. That's probably going to be helpful. And we're going to try to get something called HughesNet, which is also something like the satellite dish network uses too here, but it's not a very good internet. It's got really poor reviews. A lot of people very much dislike it. So I'm not looking forward to using it, but I will because I have to, right? And I'm going to go ahead and get on the waiting list to get the Starlink stuff because I think that will be a much better option for me when it actually does come. And they're thinking that it might come at the end of this year, but they don't know for sure. So videos will be a little rough for me, in the beginning to try to get, myself going and stuff like that. So I was thinking that maybe I will do just a few tarot readings. I'm not sure if I will do them live or if I'll do a pick a card, but it'll depend on what it's like for me out there and just kind of go, that way as I'm unpacking a box at a time, trying to figure out where it goes, putting shelves up in my fairy den, finishing the painting and finishing the walls in the fairy den because I had to put boards up where some of it has been ruined by the weather. But all of this is good. All of this is good. And I'm excited to move out to the property. I could be a lot more myself out there. And I'm looking forward to that. Even though I'll be in a tiny home with my guy is so supportive of everything that I do. So I'm not super worried about it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. A lot of moving, a lot of change, and I'm dealing with the change really well. I'm super proud of myself. So proud of myself for dealing with this kind of change. Like I've only had like one or two breakdowns where I've just had to cry it out because I just needed some space to deal with things. But otherwise, it hasn't been as bad as I really thought it was going to be. Not packing my stuff or getting out of my routines. But I do have a lot of my stuff still here. I can actually show you. I'm just going to do like a little mini turnaround real quick so you can see what my office looks like. So sorry, the camera's going to get a little shaky on you. Ready? All right. This is my current work area stuff and my plant. So yeah, this is the only space that I have that I am working with. It's pretty intense for me, I guess. And you can see all of my clay stuff going on because that's my main focus. My events. So that is where I'm at. And yeah, I will, sorry, you guys are kind of tipped. I will try to keep you guys updated and posted on how the move goes. Who knows? Maybe I'll even record some of the move, or, you know, like the craziness of it so you could see. But, you know, as a pagan moving, it's been a challenging experience. You know, what do you tell the people that you love when they pick up a box that says altar on it? And what if they do ask me about it? What am I going to say? How am I going to deal with that? And I don't know yet. We'll see when it happens. If it happens. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen. I don't want that to happen. All right, I'm gonna go because I have a ton of things to do, and I hope you guys have a very great day.